Diabetes is on a rise in our African communities and managing it is incredibly tough. In this video, I will be discussing some of the unique challenges or barriers that are affecting those with diabetes in Africa, especially in the rural areas, making it difficult for them to bring their blood sugar levels under control. The first challenge that most Africans are facing is access to healthcare services. In many parts of Africa, especially in the rural areas, many people do not have access to regular healthcare services and also professionals who can help them or guide them in managing their diabetes properly. And so, without regular checkups, routines, and consultation, it is very difficult for those people managing diabetes to get the necessary help and support needed in managing their blood sugar levels. Without access to proper medication, testing supplies like blood sugar meter, test strips, and also professional advice, many of these people are left to manage their diabetes by themselves, which makes it very difficult for them to bring their diabetes under control. In order to fix this problem of limited healthcare services, nowadays there is the availability of blood sugar meter in most pharmacies. So people who are managing diabetes and do not have a personal blood sugar meter, these people can also run to the pharmacy to measure their blood sugar levels. Also, look for information on local NGOs and go to them for advice on how to manage your diabetes. Some of these NGOs also offer free testing supplies like the blood sugar meters and test strip. Run to them and seek for advice on how to manage your diabetes effectively, even without the access of medical facilities. Another big factor affecting Africans managing diabetes is our African traditional meals and cultural norms. As Africans, we love our African traditional meals, but these meals are packed with carbohydrate and sugar, which can cause a rapid spike in the blood sugar levels if not managed properly. To make matters worse, most Africans managing diabetes do not know that these foods have an impact on their blood sugar levels, especially when eaten in large portions. To fix this problem of our African traditional foods and cultural norms, it is very important for those who are managing diabetes to eat in a small portion. Also, make sure to balance these foods with fiber, protein, and healthy fats. This will help to slow down the absorption of carbohydrate found in these foods. Another thing that you can do is to use the plate method, in which you can divide your plate of meal into two. Use one half and fill it with vegetable, and then a quarter fill it with complex carbohydrate, and then the remaining quarter fill it with protein. This will also help to reduce blood sugar spike and keep your blood sugar levels stable throughout the day. Next up is a problem of lack of education and diabetes awareness. Most of them are still unaware about the symptoms of diabetes and do not even know that they have diabetes until they start experiencing serious symptoms of diabetes. Another issue is that some know that they have diabetes, but they lack the information and education on how to manage it. And so, without proper education on how to manage their blood sugar levels through diet, lifestyle, and medication, many of them go along living with uncontrolled diabetes. If you are managing diabetes and you are looking for someone to help you, to give you that one-on-one follow-up on managing your diabetes, then drop a comment in the comment section so that we can make arrangement on how to manage your diabetes effectively. Distance should not be a barrier, whether you are in Africa, you are in Europe, America, or where wherever you are, just drop a message and then I will get back to you and we can start a one-on-one follow-up on how to effectively manage your diabetes and bring your blood sugar levels under control, because education is a key in managing your diabetes. Let's move to the fourth reason why many Africans managing diabetes find it difficult to manage it, and that is the issue of finance. Managing diabetes isn't that cheap because the medications, the supplies, the diet, the change in lifestyle, all of these things cost a lot of money. And most of the people managing diabetes in Africa, especially those in the rural area, do not have that money, which makes it a big problem managing their diabetes. Talking about finance, while growing up, I used to hear my parents saying diabetes is a sick for the rich people, but then I do not understand why they were always saying that. But now I come to realize that it has to do with the financial burden that comes with managing diabetes, which I totally understand. Now, the cost of managing diabetes can be overwhelming, especially to those living in rural areas. And so these people have to choose between buying medication or buying food for their family. Most of them will prefer to use the little finance that they have in buying or providing food for their family, which in return will leave many of them without medication or proper treatment. As Africans managing diabetes, to fix this problem of lack of finance, it is preferable for you to ask your pharmacist of generic medications. Do not go for brand medications because they are expensive, but the generic medications are normally cheaper. Always ask your pharmacist to give you the generic version of your medications because they are typically cheaper than the brand name medications. Also, to avoid cost, look for farms where you can buy your foods, because buying these foods in the farms can be more cheaper than when you go to the market to afford them. The fifth barrier that is preventing many Africans from managing their diabetes is the issue of social stigma. Many Africans are ashamed or embarrassed on letting other people know that they are struggling with diabetes. They do not want other people to know that they are having this chronic illness, and as a result of that, it becomes difficult for them to seek for help. On top of that, the myth of diabetes being a rich man illness and something that affects mostly people who are old makes it harder for people to have an open conversation about this illness, which can lead to delayed diagnosis and poor management. To solve this issue of social stigma in our African community about diabetes, it is very important for you to have an open communication with your family members and friends when you are managing diabetes. Let them know the challenges that you are facing in managing diabetes. Talk to them. If you need their help, ask them for their help. One important reason why Africans with diabetes are struggling to manage this condition is because most of them are not putting effort to manage their condition. Sometimes it is not just about lack of knowledge or lack of awareness on how to manage diabetes. Some people have the knowledge about what they can do in order for them to bring their diabetes under control, but they are not just putting efforts to bring their blood sugar levels under control. Take for example, some Africans will know that if they eat fufu or pounded yam or cassava or gari, these foods will cause a spike in their blood sugar levels. Instead of them to avoid these foods and go in for foods that have a low carbohydrate content, they will know it and willingly eat this food, causing their blood sugar levels to increase. To make matters worse, you will find Africans managing diabetes eating these foods that are high in carbohydrate in large quantities. Some of them do not even go in for their doctor's appointments. Most of them do not measure their blood sugar levels daily, not because they do not have the blood sugar meter or glucometer, but just out of negligence. To fix this problem of negligence, it is very important for you as an African, when managing diabetes to stick to your doctor's appointment. Make sure to monitor your blood sugar levels daily. If you have been placed on medication, make sure to take your medications as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Most importantly, avoid foods that are high in carbohydrate. So those were the major reasons why Africans with diabetes struggle to manage this condition. But the good news is that we can make changes. By spreading awareness about this chronic disease and supporting one another in managing diabetes, we all can improve diabetes management in our African community.